Do you hear my voice or you hear background noise?
Hello and welcome to the Dater Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka, representing the 80s, rocking 1984 in particular. And that's why, because
Wonder Woman 1984 or Wonder Woman 84 as, it's the posters and all the stuff, Obviously we're reviewing Wonder Woman, the sequel. And basically we saw this. I for one saw it on HBO Max, and Raka actually saw it the archaic way in the theaters.
one of the rare theaters, I will not mention where or when for reasons of many reasons, but did get to see it the old way. And of course, taking all precautions and whatnot. There's sanitizers everywhere. You really can't touch anybody or anything happen. Everything is touchless and well done, actually, as far as sanitizing goes. But that's neither here nor there. We're getting to the meat of the movie, and this is DC's run at one of, if not pretty much their second top go-getter, I
Part
guess.
of the Holy Trinity in DC. So obviously the other two being Batman and Superman, of course. Directed by Patty Jenkins once again, and story by Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns, plus others. Starring Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig, Pedro Pascal, and a cast of thousands. So, first of all, we all know it's PG-13. And second of all, we all know if you did not know, spoilers abound, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2 hours and 31 minutes long, the movie.
Hell yeah!
And this is I'm assuming, the cut version or edited version for public consumption.
I hear that the director's cut is about 3 days.
You know what? I believe that. And we have more lassos going around everywhere. So that's what I'm going to say. That being said, Raka, would you like to start?
Okay, quick synopsis. This is 1984.
Oh, Raka,
Wonder Woman has kind of...
Did you like the original or the first one?
I liked everything about it except when you get towards the ending and she says it's all about love. Love can save the world. And then after I threw up and I cleaned up my vomit, I saw the rest of the movie to posterity to just finish it. But I couldn't really say I loved it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot up to that point.
What a coincidence. Enough said. Carry on.
So she decides for some reason to be a little more, I guess, visible in 1984.
It is, I would say, 40 years later, give or take?
She flashes on the scene in a mall. And of course, the mall is symbolic of the 80s. And they threw at you a whole bunch of 80s paraphernalia and memorabilia and bands and trends and whatnot, fads. And she works at the Smithsonian.
I need to interject one thing here, which is, for me, the best part of the film is the beginning, where it's I guess a flashback to younger
childhood. Yes, how young Diana is going through the trials and tribulations of, I guess, womanhood, and there's these really, really, really sick Olympic type games that she has to engage in and succeed, I guess, to to be humbled, and then also to understand what it takes to be a perfect warrior.
I guess it's supposed to be like to show who the best warrior is at that moment on Themyscira.
Yeah. So you got to pace yourself. You got to be poised, and I mean, she's the youngest one of all the contestants. She's a child.
10, 12 or something.
Yeah, and the Amazonian years, whatever that means. but she's young.
They're at least, you know, high teens to early 20s. They got to be. And she, competes well with them and is succeeding in beating them up until the end, where what happens?
She takes a shortcut, and she's dismounted off her horse because she looks back,
Right.
and she got distracted. I mean, she's young, and she sees a way where she can cut through and take a shortcut to regain her horse, regain her bow and arrow, regain her position, and ride it towards the end. And as she regains the group, mind you, she misses that one obstacle that she has to hit with an arrow so that her banner can be registered. She is held from finishing the contest by the chief warrior because she cheated.
Yeah,
she cheated, and she doesn't realize she's goal oriented. She's I gotta win. I'm almost there. I can do it. I found another way. And he said, no. You have to do it the right way. You have to. If you're not ready to save the world or some other nonsense crap like that, paraphrasing, if you're not ready to do it the right way, you're not ready to save the world.
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, even though
that's the best. That's the best part for you.
that is the best part for me. I mean, all right. Was it probably the best action sequence for me, bar none. After that, I did enjoy the whole, even though some people would take umbrage and take, flaws into the whole spoiler again, the Steve and Diana relationship. But I kind of dug that whole, I'm a sucker for romance, so I did dig that.
Well, okay, not to get. Let's do this real quick, under a minute.
Do it.
Diana works in the Smithsonian. She works in fine arts and relics and history and all this other everything to do with artifacts. And a new worker, played by Kristen Wiig, is on the scene.
Barbara Minerva.
And she's awkward. She's socially awkward. She's ostracized. She's marginalized. Whatever you want to call her. She's rather smart. But they come across this relic which has Latin writing on it. It strikes interest in both. And as Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, that's a Diana, reads it, it basically says, what you wish for, you get. But of course, there's trade-offs. Da 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 da. And of course, you know what she wishes for? She wishes for Trevor to come back. And Kristen notices, after being saved by Wonder Woman and just admiring everything that she is, and she was touched by her, having lunch with her, and reaching out to actually even recognizing that she exists, she wants to be like Diana. So she wakes up in the morning and she's strong and she's fast and she's powerful. And then the next day, Diana wakes up and she meets at some soiree event resurrected Steve Trevor.
All right.
So
all that's good and dandy and all that
that's
stuff.
The love part that you like, and then the sinister part is Pedro Pascal's role as Maxwell Lord, who knows about the relic too, finagles his way to get his hands on it, and he becomes one with the relic, being the living embodiment of the wishing stone. And there you have it.
Rocka, yeah. Rocka took about an hour and 40 minutes of the film and turned it into a minute and a half of, missing points. And one of my biggest nitpicks in the movie, Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal, who I thought actually he did a pretty good job playing the.
I thought to be honest, I thought he was the best. I thought he was the best actor in the whole group.
I think he went all out, and I thought it was freaking awesome. Now, for all you who know and all those who do not know, Maxwell Lord was just a human who eventually becomes a metahuman and gets powers. We're talking about the comics we're talking about here, okay? And I know people are going to say, oh, but is he? The comics are different than the movies. True. But as a fan of the comics, I cannot help but bring my awareness from that realm into this realm, and it always kind of affects my thought process within the film and my critique, obviously. So Max Lord eventually becomes a very powerful telepath in the DC universe, or the DCU, and to the point where he can actually control bodies and he can control a person. He actually controlled Wonder Woman, in a big crossover, or whatever. So in this iteration in the movie, they kind of bring the idea of this artifact that is like the monkey's paw, meaning whatever you wish, you'll get, but whatever you desire the most will also be affected. You lose, basically. So if you want Steve Trevor to come back as your long lost love, what would happen? You're gonna lose your powers, and that's what ends up happening to Diana throughout the movie, and which eventually happens, but you see it in little pieces. And and which in turn, Robert Minerva becomes a super powered being, and Maxwell Lord indeed does, when he acquires said stone, actually says he wishes to be the stone, which in turn, all the wishes that people have through him, he endows said wishes, and he becomes more powerful in the meantime. So so now you have two big bads, quote unquote, and there's a setup. Now you have a lot of blah blah blah, a lot of stuff in the middle that many people who aren't aware or don't really care will count as boring, but it's all character build up. And go on, Rocco.
Well, I think they took a long time to have things unfold.
Yeah.
They have Maxwell Lord's character, which again I think was the best played character of the whole bunch, and best written, as he becomes out of control with power, and his poor decision making of acquiring wealth and power leaves devastation in his wake that comes back to roost. He thinks he's creating wealth and an empire for himself. He's just creating more problems and in turn destroying the entire world. Diana's subplot actually ends up becoming a subplot in the whole movie, which is the backdrop, which is her love with Trevor. Trevor's back to life. Her only wish in the whole universe is to have more time with him. And he does come back. And he comes back into this new world where there's gadgets and things and trinkets and planes and high-speed trains and breakdancing and all this other stuff.
But
and
it's not him. Him, but it's not him.
It's not him. It's the creation of him.
Yeah, it's like the reincarnation of him in another body.
And Diana's loving it, except when things have been shown as they go through this wild chase to go figure out what is actually happening, it becomes more and more clear to Diana, even though she will deny it until the very end, until she has no choice. This is not the way. This is not natural. They had their time. You can't bring him back. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. As much as we all wish it for anyone, loved ones to come back. And then there's more problems. And then she has to save the world, but she's losing her powers. Meanwhile,
with you, I thought that when I saw the trailer, I'm like, how the hell are they going to bring this kid back? And even though it's a bit, really, but I'm like, okay, fine. Within the realm of possibilities, I guess it could happen. And it was okay. I expected something way worse, how he was going to come back. So it was all right.
No, I was okay with how he came back and everybody's wishes was granted. But it's one of those things, just like the monkey's paw. Be careful what you wish for. All right, I wish for the girl who wished to be famous. Okay, she works she's just a waitress in a takeout restaurant, and she becomes famous. Now everybody's going crazy, breaking down her door, paparazzi, everything. Like, oh shoot, I didn't expect this, you know. So I don't want to rob Spider-Man again of another line, but you know what I'm saying. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that was executed well. I think it was executed well that everyone was granted their wishes, and you will soon come to regret it. And it's more problems than it's worth. And there is no such thing as getting everything that you want. I thought that part was done well. I thought this was way too long to get to that point, and I thought that there's a million plot holes that they just ask you to accept. Like
More plot
Trevor
holes.
comes back. Trevor comes back. Let's stop at Trevor.
It
Steve.
had more plot holes than the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a bold statement. But Steve comes back, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't question why he's there. And then when he's in her apartment and he sees all these new fancy gadgets, and then okay, late at night they have to take a plane to Egypt. He flew a 1918 war plane, and all of a sudden he knows how to operate this multi-gadget push button engine plane.
He went, oh, lights. Oh, sorry. Click, ignition. And then it was it.
Not to mention, so the Smithsonian has relic planes on site filled with fuel, ready to go in working order.
Enough to go from Smithsonian to Cairo. Also, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Now, also, he probably drove a Model T Ford and possibly a tank. All of a sudden, he's driving 60, 70, 80 miles per hour in a modern day car and doing it rather well.
Yes. He did not know the basics of hand-to-hand combat or a simple, take away how to, he even mentions it that, oh, I just learned this.
Yeah. I mean,
that's fine. I mean, hey,
there's a few things. Oh, so
he's Captain America,
Barbara's character. Barbara's character first was a nothing, is now garnered everybody's attention, and she's feeling strong, and everyone in the whole freaking Smithsonian didn't even think twice if they spat on her. Now she's got everybody's, and then Diana kind of rains on her parade, but all of a sudden, at a drop of a dime, she's ready to help her again. From a phone call goes knows where to track through microfiche and microfilm the whereabouts of this relic.
It is so, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It is so
disjointed,
coincidental that it happens that way. And another thing that I get angered by Hollywood. Okay, Kristen Wiig now is an attractive woman. Now, all she did was straighten out her hair and wear different clothes, and all of a sudden she's hot, and likable and whatever else. I mean, come on, man. Let's try.
I agree.
Harder, bro. I mean, come on, man.
In the world of CGI, you could have made her a lot more unpleasant to look at, and then once she's got her wish, transform into something that should eclipse Diana.
Yeah, but you know what? But they were afraid there. You don't want to eclipse the main actress, of course, first of all. Which, honestly, let's be honest, there's very few actresses who can eclipse who are more attractive than Gal Gadot. That's fine. But at the same time, I mean...
But at the very least, go neck and neck.
But yeah, throw us a bone here. It's almost like the joke in freaking She's All That or whatever the movie that was spoofing that. Not another teen movie.
With the big head.
The only difference is she has freaking glasses on and she's ugly. Takes them off, she's beautiful. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, it's
with everything else they did to build a wall around Egypt, you could have.
Come on, man. I mean.
Again.
But whatever.
As we get to, and I think that Wonder Woman actually took a back seat into the movie. I find her many times during the movie that she's player B. I really believe.
I was kind of surprised from it being, and I might take flack for this, from it being a female-centric movie, meaning the director is a female, and the lead, and obviously everything is like go whole girl power, and all of a sudden she's all about this dude, and Gaga for half the movie about the love of her life, which is fine, but wouldn't you want to show a different, say a different message or whatever? You know what I mean? And it's all about her. I don't know. I just think it's as good as.
Very same thing can be said with Barbara Minerva's character, where she's smart, she's incredibly smart, she's she's a little awkward, but
She's smarter than Diana. She's smarter. I mean, Diana is older. It's all it is.
But what makes her feel something now is that she's got attention and she's strong.
And she could wear high heels. I mean, really? I mean, come on, bro.
I agree. Again, the message is kind of the converse of what you want to send.
Which I'm shocked. I mean, because as great as the first movie was, up until the last 30 minutes, I agreed. I mean, this kind of brought it back. Like, I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, really? I mean, I'm like, what the hell, man?
If I had to redo it, I would make Diana's character halfway through have this self-correcting initiative to say, this isn't right. As much as I love you, I can't. This is not right. I have to correct the world instead of putting me first and my feelings first and my wishes first. That's how, first of all, I would change things. Barbara, I would make Barbara kick people's ass mentally and physically so that she feels more empowered. And I would have thrown the whole high heels out. Steve Trevor's character is actually okay in that he's the first person to realize, I had a great life. I don't belong.
Yeah, but even that was good, but he had to bring it to her, and then she had to make a decision after.
Actually, I don't even think it should have been him. I think he should have been clinging to her all the way to the end because he's not real Steve.
I'm saying, I think that kind of demeaned. I mean, even up to that point, it was all good. He was all about, and then even then, you have Wonder Woman who's losing her freaking powers, who's still a freaking incredible badass, regardless whether she's invulnerable or not. He's carrying her through a whole mess of she's all hurt, whatever, and he's carrying her. Honestly, the actor could barely pick her up because she towers over him, and he's carrying her to the whole thing, and he's telling her, you know what, I gotta go. And then only then she goes, you know what, you're right.
And then she says, oh, you're gone already.
And she's all, come on, man. I mean, I think you just no bueno, man. It's just it's smacking.
So let's do a quick recap here.
The freaking first movie, man.
So the writing was atrocious. The casting has questions.
I like that. I like the acting. The writing was atrocious. I agree.
Some of the choice of actors, I could have gone a different route. The director in doing.
I think she messed up, man.
Doing it a disservice to the Wonder Woman franchise, and cinematography. Do they bring you to the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, they actually tried really hard. Even in the background music, it tried to emulate the 80s.
And, I think they did a good job there. And then the world devastation looked good.
All right, nitpick number 3 or number 85, whatever. Okay, there's an apocalyptic event going on in the world. Even though it's 1984. Isn't Superman still around at that time? He may not be Superman at that time, but Superboy. Isn't Superboy running around at that time?
We would have to go back to the timeline, but isn't Batman around too?
Yeah, definitely, but what can he do? But, you could at least acknowledge, I mean, the fact that, okay, she's the only one who could save the planet at this point when everything's blowing up or whatever. I mean, come on, man.
damn good point. That's a damn good point because you can't live once you brought them together in the League of Justice. You cannot live separate lives.
Once you open up, and this is what Marvel and I didn't want to bring up Marvel, but the whole continuity aspect of it. Some shit happens in Queens, in Brooklyn, you'll hear it. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing. Some shit happens, and the whole world is involved. Why isn't Gotham involved? Come on. I mean, at the point at what was it, 2017, whatever the hell Just League is supposed to be in, Batman's already an old man or an older guy. So you figure he's still, some semblance of him is still going around or something's going around.
Agreed. And then this parlays into plot hole number 214, which is, okay, he's in the White House.
What the hell was that? I mean, come on.
He gets power. Okay, I buy that because that's how he's been doing this whole thing. He's breaking down physically. Okay, I get all that. He stops at the boards, okay, the poster boards, and he sees. I'm sure you know this. This is the big one. And he sees, what's this? Oh, this is the satellite system. This is the retro Star Wars system. This is broadcasting to every individual. So I have to relearn, and I'm going to scold every teacher I had, that so in 1984, we had the World Wide Web. Basically, in his broadcast to these satellites that rain transmissions.
The World Wide Web, are we sure we did not? I know it was around that era, but to that level, no.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And if it was, Snowden would have told us.
Okay. And everyone was online on their computers, and it came up. Boop, boop, boop. What technology? What are we, aliens? I mean, so many powers.
All right, so
rumors that DC Warner Brothers interfered with the movie, and if it did, then I apologize to the director. But
do you hear that sound? That sound is the boardroom of Marvel clapping and laughing.
I mean, all right. 16.7 million over the 3-day holiday weekend. That is what the rumors are, or at least the early reports are. Okay.
I think Bitcoin made more in the last hour.
Yeah, but it is also the biggest opening or biggest weekend gross since theaters reopened. Okay.
Oh shoot, I'm part of that.
So you're welcome, or thank you, I guess. Yeah. And Wonder Woman 3 is on the fast track to continue. So I don't know.
So okay, and again, let me just say, Marvel is not infallible. I have plot holes galore in their whole universe, but
yeah. Oh, Rocco will have his
Endgame No Bueno.
Endgame No Bueno video coming real soon. He's prepping it as we speak. All right. Well, that's gonna be, send all the hate mail to deadaraka@AOL.com. So
that's okay. Come on over. The dumpster fire is just getting going. So as we wrap this baby up, let's say in the world of golden lassos, what say you, Izzy? How many golden lassos?
Nothing. All right. One last nitpick, and this is my own personal nitpick that I kept cringing every time I saw it. When the fuck did Wonder Woman become Indiana Jones with the lasso? Now, for all my reading of Wonder Woman, hey, when did she use the lasso in that way, like a whip? And it kept driving me crazy. I'm seeing all these CGI effects of her freaking doing Daredevil maneuvers and doing spider maneuvers and all kinds of, and I'm like, what? No.
And flying.
No, but hey, She can't fly.
But hold up, I have to contest you on this point. To have the golden lasso, which she does say as a disclaimer, it does more than tell the truth.
Oh, of course she had to. I mean, she just did everything with it. You know.
Apparently, you can blend a wicked pina colada with this thing. Now, I give credit to the director to be innovative of different things she can do with the lasso instead of keeping to the canon of the comic books. I give that a little credit because if you make it believable that you could do more with the lasso than tie somebody up and tell the truth, I'm cool with that.
But for that, I would rather have her freaking run around with a freaking sword than with a lasso. I mean, because you're eliminating the warrior aspect of Wonder Woman, at least in my opinion, because it looks like a different character. When have you ever seen or heard of Wonder Woman freaking whipping people with a freaking lasso? Come on, it's not Catwoman.
Perhaps as a spoiler, in Mando 3, she's going to obtain the dark saber from Mando.
Perhaps. And maybe, and only then, would that work. And hey, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan, all right?
Fanboy.
All right, see, remember, that's said scene where she actually meets,
Trevor.
Okay? I'm a fan, but it just annoys me that it was okay. It was okay. It should have been.
I agree with you. It should have been better. It should have been way better. And because of that, Izzy's
way more. That's the whole point. That's it.
Izzy's golden lasso rating, 1 lasso being the worst star ever, and 5 lassos being the award-winning Academy Award winner, no hands bar. Where stand you?
2.5 lassos.
2.5 lassos. So we take the third lasso and cut it in half.
Yes.
And there we are. And with that, we can hang a noose.
Yes, at the end of the
This is the best part of the movie. Spoilers abound. What is the best part of the movie? Second to the beginning.
Second to the beginning. Jeez. All right.
It's the homage to Linda Carter.
Yes. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
This whole episode is spoiler. So if you stay towards the end, you see a little glimpse of who I watched.
Artemisia, or her name was it?
Yeah, who I watched growing up to be the real original Wonder Woman.
That's what, 65? How old is she?
She looks fantastic, and she was fantastic.
Amazing still, and I'm like, wow, okay.
I mean, that was a nice gift, a nice tribute. I'm cool with it. I go one step further than you, not because I saw it in the theater and it on. There's so many problems with it, but did it entertain?
Yes, of course it did.
Yes. So for that, I give it 3 lassos.
I only give it 2.5 because it pissed me off because I expected more. All the hype and the hoop and everything, and it was, I expected more. So it annoyed me that that some of the parts were so bad, and it could have been so much better. I mean,
he was climbing up the new ride in adventure.
Ending, how the hell she defeats the Maxwell Lord is cringeworthy once again. I mean, I get what they're trying to say, that Wonder Woman doesn't need to punch someone in the face to defeat them. Great. But no, we want Wonder Woman to punch someone in the face.
What the world needs now.
Come on, man.
Love. Love. Wait, I think it is going to amend his score rating and drop it down to 2 solid lassos. He's taking the half lasso and he's throwing it to the side. It is down 2 lassos.
No, we're still keeping it 2.5 lassos.
As we keep this conversation going, we'll be left to 1 lasso, which Izzy might hang himself on. But we will stop right there. Listen, I think we can concur that this has been a huge disappointment. Is it a movie to fill your time as you watch? If you're a fan of the comics, you're a fan of Wonder Woman, you're a fan of just being entertained, sure, turn it on. If you're looking at it to be the next awesome superhero of an iconic figure. Sorry.
Right now, is it worth watching? Someone on the street says, "Have you seen WW84? Should I watch it?" Do you tell them yes or no?
I do this politely.
Okay, there we go.
All right. That about sums us up. This is Raka. That's Izzy. We are the Deader Dudes. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Let us know how you feel once you watch this movie or don't watch this movie, or you hear other people bitch and complain about this movie. Let us know.
All right, thanks, guys. Stay safe. Take care, and as always,
And save the whales.